All right, welcome guys. Happy Sunday. We got 4 games to talk about, so not a lot of player by player analysis, I guess. But let's go over what we know so far. We got 20 minutes until I gotta get out of here. So I'm going over from the start of the day some of the stuff for the early slate, but Trae Young, Gallinari both in. Let's see as I scroll up more. What else we got? Some of those Mavs guys for tomorrow. We got we got the Magic news. MCW out, Otto Porter out, Main out, Birch in, Mo Bamba in. So they have 9 available players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which kind of just like mucks it up a little bit. Like, I think there's some Magic guys that are viable with no standouts with a 9-man rotation. Also severe blowout risk at a 16.5 point spread. The tricky part right now is just we have the 3 Pelicans guys questionable, and that's obviously going to swing the entire slate. So, yeah, a little bit tough right now to say, but again, if all those guys are out, you're going to want some Pelicans exposure for sure. My best guess is since they're going up against the Rockets, I'm like, hey, let's give them one more day off if they're all truly questionable. So that's my feelings on those Pelicans guys. We'll see what we get there. Trae Young, no minutes limit. Draymond Green is in, and that's what we got so far, I believe. Yep, that's what we got. So, all right, let's go team by team really quick. I'll talk about the players I like, then we'll get to questions at the end. Yeah, happy Easter to you as well. Thank you, man, for subscribing. Really appreciate that. All right, so where are we at right now? 150 viewers, guys, 31 likes. Let's try to hit that like button and get to 100 before I get out of here. It helps me out a lot. Memphis and Philly. So on the Memphis side, we have no Joel Embiid. Maybe I skipped over that one. Joel Embiid is out. So Jonas Valanciunas at 7-8. I'm very intrigued by him for tournaments. Especially if Philly tries to start Mike Scott at the 5. If they actually try to run Mike Scott at the 5, JV is just going to abuse him. So I do like Jonas Valanciunas a good amount if they actually do start Mike Scott. Either way, I think JV is a good tournament play. We know his minutes are never super high, but he's a great point per minute guy. And again, if they start Mike Scott, JV should be able to feast. Now, John Morant's at 7.6K. He's a good tournament play. He's been very, very up and down. The upside is 50 plus. The downside is like 25. So I think Ja's a good tournament play. Other than that, though, not much else in Memphis. They're basically fully healthy besides Justice Winslow. Not a ton else I like here. On the Philadelphia side, again, no Joel Embiid. So Tobias Harris, I think, is a really safe spend up with upside. He's been the guy that, with him and Ben Simmons, when Embiid was out, he's been the much more consistent of the two. So if you're going to ask me who I prefer between Tobias and Ben Simmons, it's Tobias Harris. Now, that's going to really lower the ownership on Ben Simmons. He just really hasn't done much. He hasn't. Besides that one overtime game we went for 50, he's kind of just been settling in like the 20 to 30 fantasy point range. Again, though, it's a 4-game slate and he's going to be low owned. I could see taking a shot on him and just hope he gets back to his normal self of 40 plus fantasy point upside. But yeah, right now it's hard for me to really prioritize Ben Simmons. So Dwight Howard intrigues me here. Dwight Howard very much intrigues me. He's at 6'2". This is a big front court for Memphis. He's a good point per minute guy. So, ejection, blowout. Game at Cleveland, also a blowout. 26 minutes, 44 fantasy points. That's when he played the most. And this game against Minnesota, Embiid was back. Like, Dwight's a pretty solid point per minute guy. I don't think he's like a must-play on the slate, but I think he's someone that probably plays around 25 to 30 minutes and is someone I'm looking to in the mid-range. Like Green, Milton, and Seth Curry are not out of play, but they're all just like priced about right. Like one of those guys will probably have a good shooting game. Good luck trying to guess which one's going to be. That's not for me. I'm not trying to guess in a 4-game slate. Mike Scott probably gets around 20 minutes. I think there's better value on the slate. So not much else on Philly, to be honest. All right. Do we have any more news here? 15 minutes until we're getting out of here. So I'm going to go a little bit quick just so we can get some questions. Yep. All right. So Golden State in Atlanta. Steph Curry, I like at the top. Like this game's part of a game stack. Should play mid-30s minutes. Atlanta not good on the defensive end. So do like Steph. Wiggins and Oubre, absolutely not. Draymond Green is also a guy I really like in the mid-range. Should play mid-30s minutes. Stuff's the stat sheet. Draymond, Steph Curry, like them both a lot on the slate. And that's basically it. Poole, Wiseman, Lee, no one else I have interest in. It's pretty much Steph and it's Draymond, and I like both a lot. On the Atlanta side, Trae Young, Gallinari in. So, what does that do to the Hawks? I'm basically, completely off Goodwin, pretty much off Herter. Not really looking to Gallinari at that price. Lou Williams at 5'5", like he could still get it done in like 20 minutes, but more contrarian. Same with Bogdan Bogdanovic. Like, Yeah, he'll probably play around 30 minutes, but now Trae Young's in his offense, which does take a hit to him. So not completely out of play, but does seem a little bit overpriced. Really, the two guys I'm looking to are the two guys at the top, that being Trae, that being Capella. Trae Young, I don't think he's going to be super popular on the slate. Should play mid-30s minutes. Again, no minutes limit. He's a guy who's getting a ton of assists when playing 9, 15, 7, 13, 12. I like the Trae Young, Steph Curry pairing in tournaments, so I like him. I do also mention Clint Capella, too. I don't love the price point here, but he's a guy that's probably going to play 35 minutes. Again, with no John Collins, gets a massive boost. So Capella, Trae Young, guys I'm looking to. New Orleans and Houston. This one's just a little bit hard to break down right now. Again, my guess is that the Pelicans are out, but there's no, we don't know that, fully guaranteed news yet. So on the Pelicans, assuming all those guys are out, they're thin, right? If Zion, Ingram, and Ball are out, you're going to want to load up on the Pelicans. Top two guys being NAW and Bledsoe. Adams a fair play in the mid-range. James Johnson would be like one of the best plays, probably the best value on the slate if all those guys are out. And then we'd even have to consider some other guys here. So, I'm curious, do they run, a double big combo and throw, Jackson Hayes out a little bit with, Steven Adams or, Guillermo Hernan-Gomez? They might have to a little bit just because they are so thin. Najee Marshall, the rookie, actually played 30 minutes. If he starts again, he's a guy finishing at 3.6. Sure, it pains me to say, but Wesson Wundo will probably play about 30 minutes. You can go there. He's super, super low usage. I think Wenyen Gabriel might get dusted off the bench for a couple minutes. But, yeah, that's really my thoughts there for the Pelicans, assuming all those guys are out. It's NAW, Bledsoe, James Johnson, three of the best plays of the slate. And then even guys like Najee Marshall, Wesson Wundo, I think Adams is a safe play. And these guys are just going to play massive minutes. Love this game as a game stack, assuming those three guys are out. Now, if all three are in, got to keep an eye on, is there minutes limit for any of them? It's just hard to say, right? If all three of these guys are in, then I'm not really on any of the value plays for the Pelicans. And then that would just flip the slate on its head, right? It would just completely change everything. So it's hard, right? And so it's a later game. Hopefully we'll get that news somewhat soon. On the Houston side, no John Wall. I think Kevin Porter Jr. is a pretty solid play in the mid-range. The minutes haven't been amazing, 31 and 30. I think we get somewhere around 30 to 35 minutes for him. I do like him in this spot against the Pelicans. So Kevin Porter Jr. is a guy I like in the mid-range. Then Christian Wood as well at the top. Again, I think you can game stack this one. This one and the Golden State-Atlanta game are my two favorite games to target by far. The top two guys there for Houston look good with Wood and Porter Jr. Tato Olynyk, House, Sterling Brown, Augustine, fine filler plays, no priorities there for me. If I had to pick one value guy, it might be DJ, just because I think he plays around 20 minutes, but there's not much that's I love. You can consider Avery Bradley, too. He played 28 minutes. He's kind of reliant on scoring, not a great point per minute guy, but hey, he's 3.7, so you could throw him in the mix. Don't play Ben McLemore, he got waived. Last game, Magic. So again, we got that news. MTW out, Otto Porter Jr. out, and Maine out. So they have 9 healthy bodies. I'm really worried about the blowout risk here. They also have 3 bigs now. So they have Wendell Carter Jr., they have Birch, they have Mo Bamba. That is absolutely disgusting rotation of bigs. Kind of just takes everyone out of play. I'm worried about foul trouble against Jokic. I don't really want to pay $6K for Wendell Carter Jr. if he's going to play 25 minutes. I'm not really wanting to go to Birch or Mo Bamba, right? They're just going to kind of split the minutes pretty evenly with those 3. I'll probably stay away. There's absolutely no way I'll ever play Chaseon Randall, especially at 4.7K. James Ennis at 5.2, not really for me. Minutes will be there, but don't love it. Okiki at 5.7. I could see getting talked into Okiki because he's a rookie. They want to give this guy all the run he can get. He's been playing pretty well, too, so I think Okiki is still viable at 5.7. If you think the Magic can keep it close, then you can consider guys like Ross and Bacon. Just because these are the guys who are going to chuck up shots, right? Ross is going to shoot the ball 30 times this game. Dwayne Bacon also going to get a ton of shot attempts up. So, if you think the Magic can hang in this game, you can consider guys like Ross and Bacon. But for me, 17-point spread, I have no confidence in that. So, how many minutes does RJ Hampton get? He played 31 last game. I think we get somewhere around 20 to 25. Makes him a viable punt play at that price. Lastly, Denver. So the tricky part here is, again, I have no confidence in this Magic team keeping it close. If you are confident can keep it close, then you can look to some of these Denver guys. Like Jokic, if he plays 35 minutes against this Magic front court, he could go for 70. So, he's a fine tournament play, but again, there's risk. Same thing with Murray, MPJ, Aaron Gordon Barton. There's risk with all these guys because there's a greater than 50% chance they only play 25 minutes. Now, Aaron Gordon, it's a revenge game narrative. He actually played 39 minutes kind of out of nowhere after 21 and 25 in his first 2 games. So I could see getting to Gordon as a revenge game narrative. Again, though, do I have confidence in the Magic? Not really. If you think this game does blow out, then there's a couple interesting guys I think you could look to for like tournaments. I think PJ Dozier at 3-2. He's been in this rotation. He's been playing somewhere around 15 to 20 minutes. If this game blows out, he'll play a little bit more. So I think you can consider Dozier if you think the game blows out. He would probably be the first guy in. The issue with Michael Green and Millsap is they're kind of veterans, so like they're not going to play a ton. And even if the game gets massively out of hand, like I don't think they finish the game. So it's like I don't even know if I get to Green or Millsap in a blowout because I'm a little bit worried like they get pulled. So, like, maybe you get, like, super contrarian and you take, like, a dart throw on Bull and hope he plays, like, 12 minutes. But, really, I think Dozier is probably the safest value guy if you think the game blows out, if you want to look to. And that's really what I got for the slate. So, let's refresh fan slabs one more time. It's kind of a tricky one, right? Just because that Pelicans news. John Wall, unlikely to play Monday. Okay. Yeah. So, that's what I got, guys. Let's get to some questions here. Again, it's hard to say right now with the Pelicans. It is. So, if I had to guess, I would say all of those guys are out again, but there's no confirmation there. No, I think Aaron Gordon's a good. I think he's a good tournament play, right? Because if the Magic can somehow keep it close, you could see a big game from him. Revenge game. Trey or Steph? Give me Steph if I had to pick, but I think both are good options. Yeah, Wood or Harris? That's a tough one. I like the spot for both. Give me Tobias, I guess, but I think both are good options. Top values, the Pelicans, guys. So James Johnson, Najee Marshall if he starts. I know it's kind of gross, but those two are really where I look, assuming all those guys are out. Possibly even throw like a Wes Nwundo in there just because they have like no bodies. They don't. They have no bodies. Yeah, small forward's tough. Small forward is really tough today. I think Tobias Harris is the clear guy for me at the top. Mid-range, you can consider a couple guys here like Bogdan, Gordon. I don't know if I go to either in cash. Bogdan because the price, Gordon because the blowout risk. Going down a bit more. Again, there's not a ton here. I think Najee Marshall started the last game. I'm looking to him maybe for value. You can take a shot on Avery Bradley. Right? Dozier if you think the game blows out. That's really what I got. Asking for a friend. I'm not the guy to ask about that. I have not been following college basketball at all. So, yeah, Wood or JV for cash. I need to see what Philadelphia does with the starting lineup. Again, if Philadelphia starts Mike Scott, I might go Jonas Valanciunas there. So keep an eye on that one. Now, if Dwight Howard starts, then I don't like JV as much. And then Dwight becomes interesting if he can stay out of foul trouble and not get ejected. RJ Hampton, Hampton in a 9-man rotation, I think we get somewhere around 20 to 25 minutes. Locks tonight, the Pelicans, if all those guys are out. Forward for 5,200 or less. I don't think I love this range, so let's see. I do not like this range. So, I would probably rebuild. Like, I would say James Johnson at 4-3 would be the guy for me. Allen? Which Allen? Are you talking about, is it Grayson Allen? Memphis is basically fully healthy. So, he seems priced about right. A guy that will play around 20, 25 minutes. Not out of play, I guess, but I'm not really excited about it. Yeah, Jamal Murray or Ja. I think I'd go Ja there. I'm worried about the Magic. Yeah, Capella or JV. Again, I need to see the starting lineup for Philly. That was a great game. I caught the end of that, came back from dinner and caught the end of that. That was a great game. Milton for value. And like those guys, the guards for Philly are all kind of just fine. Like Milton probably gets around 20 minutes. He can pay off that salary in that time, but I don't love the price. Same thing with same thing with Seth Curry, same with Danny Green. I have some interest in DJ. I think he plays about 20 minutes. Some. Yeah, again, it's a tricky one, right? It's a tricky one for sure. Philly lineup is out already? All right, so let's see what they got. Are they starting Mike Scott the 5? I don't see it. Mike Scott is starting. Okay. So I guess Fantasy Lab probably just a little bit slow. So, yeah, I think Jonas Valanciunas, I mean, they're really starting Mike Scott against Jonas Valanciunas. All right. Yeah, so I think JV is a good play. I do. Now, JV is a guy that, again, never going to play the massive minutes, but he should just be able to feast. So I think he's a really good play now. Yeah, I love the two Pelicans guards, assuming NAW or assuming Lonzo, Zion, and Ingram are out. I don't see how you get away from the Pelicans. Lou Williams is viable on the slate, both Trae Young and Gallinari back. I think he plays about 20 minutes and is more of a contrarian play. Curry, Hampton, Ennis, Green, Wood, Porter, Tillman, Carter Jr. Not really looking to Ennis, not really looking to Tillman on the slate. Tillman, especially with Brandon Clark back, really worried about his minutes, might barely play. Favorite game to target, I think Pelicans Rockets. Avery Bradley or Lou Williams? Lou Williams over Avery Bradley for sure. Tobias or Draymond? If price doesn't matter, Tobias. I like both a lot today. So what we're doing with Ball is in and Zion and Ingram are out. Then keep an eye on Lonzo Ball's minutes if he's going to be limited. If he's going to be limited and Zion and Ingram are out, then I'm probably still going to NAW, still going to Bledsoe, and probably still going to James Johnson. Dozier and Hampton for value, both in play. Okeke or Kevin Porter, or Oubre, Kevin Porter Jr. for sure. Mike Scott, center, yeah. So I like JV. JV should be able to feast. Okeke or Harris? Wait, which Harris? Okeke or Tobias Harris? Tobias Harris. That's the only Harris has. Dwight still in play? Yeah, I think you can use him off the bench as a tournament play. I don't love it, though. No on Tony Snell, you know that. Yeah, Embiid's out. Embiid's out. Do you like Dozier? Yeah, I think he's a value play we can consider, especially if that game blows out. He would be someone that I think could play a little bit more. Yeah, Draymond or Tobias again. Tobias for me. What Rockets do you like? Kevin Porter Jr. I like Wood, the top two guys. The rest are all viable, but no like standouts. So like you can land on Avery Bradley, you can land a DJ, you can play like a Jayshawn Tate, a Sterling Brown. No standouts though. Yeah, Bacon or Barton. If I'm gonna pick one, it's gonna be Barton. I don't love either though. Seth Curry and Philly, again, like him, Milton, Danny Green are all just kind of secondary options for me. All right, guys, we got one more minute. Let's check out these lineups, and then I'll get out of here. So I'll give my thoughts on the Rockets lineup is out. Yeah, so Rockets starting Porter Jr., Brown, House, Tate, and Wood. Kind of expected. So, yeah, again, like if you land on Danwell, House, or Sterling Brown in the mid 4K range, I'm not going to talk you off it. I just don't think they stand out as amazing plays. They're like fine filler options. Jayshawn Tate feels a little bit pricey. Really, my main interest, my first guy would probably be Kevin Porter Jr., and then Christian Wood. And then the rest of the rotation for the Rockets, like there's no one that looks terrible, but there's no one that stands out. So again, like if you land on like a secondary Rockets piece, that's completely fine with me. All right, last question here. Yeah, Avery Bradley or Hampton at the utility. I would say it depends what you think happens in the last game. If you think, I think Hampton will also play more too in a blowout. So like if you think that game blows out, Hampton looks a lot better. So that one's close. My lean is the game blows out, so I might lean Hampton for that reason. Yeah, House is going to fly under the radar. This last one I'll talk about here is Daniel House, right? He's what? I think he's 4'6". He's a guy that, can get hot behind the three-point line, a little bit reliant in the scoring, does have a low floor like we saw last game. I think we see somewhere around 25 to 30 minutes. Again, like he can go out and get you 25 to 30. So viable, but that is what I got, guys, for the slate. So thanks for everyone coming to check out the stream. Good luck tonight. As always, again, keep an eye on that news. Pelicans news is the big one. So good luck to you guys, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another YouTube live stream.